Hello students, I am Rakesh Chauhan working as PGT Physics in Suraj Group of Schools. I welcome you all in the e-learning classes of physics. Today we are going to discuss about the very important topic of chapter 4, that is cyclotron. And the importance of this topic can be easily understood by simply, analyzing the 5 to 10 years papers of CBSE, and you will find that, in the last 10-year papers, this topic is being asked 5 to 6 times. So the probability of, uh, cyclotron to be appear in CBSE exam is almost 50 to 60%. So you need to concentrate on this topic from the very beginning of this topic. So cyclotron, first we will discuss what is cyclotron. So cyclotron is a device which is used to accelerate the charged particles. And which type of charged particles? Which are heavier in mass. So we can say that cyclotron is a device which is used to accelerate the heavy charged particles. For example, we can accelerate alpha particle, we can accelerate neutron, we can accelerate proton, which are comparatively heavier particles as compared to electron. So question comes in our mind that can we accelerate electron with the help of cyclotron? So answer is no, because the electron is having almost 10,000 times less mass as compared to a proton, so it cannot be accelerated with the help of cyclotron. This is one of the limitations of cyclotron also, which we will study in the later half of this topic, that is limitations of cyclotron. Okay, so you can easily write down its definition. It is a device which is used to accelerate the heavy charged particles like alpha particle, neutron and proton. Okay, now comes on which principle actually it works. So the principle of working. So the principle of working of the cyclotron is that the time period of cyclotron, or the electric field which we will used in this cyclotron to accelerate the charged particle actually, is independent of the radius and velocity of the charged particle, which is moving in circular path within the cyclotron. So on which principle this cyclotron actually work? The time period of the cyclotron is independent on the radius and velocity of the charged particle revolving in circular paths. So we will derive the formula of time period, and thereafter we will prove that it is independent of the radius and velocity of the charged particle. But for the time being, you must remember that the principle of cyclotron is this. Next comes its construction. So how this cyclotron actually look like, we will discuss about its construction. So the cyclotron basically consists of hollow metallic discs which are kept in front of each other. So these are the metallic discs which are known as D1 and D2. These are the Ds, hollow metallic Ds, which are kept face to face or in front of each other. The source of the charged particle which is to be accelerated is placed here at the center of these Ds. Suppose this is source S, which is producing positive charged particles like alpha particle. Okay, so for alpha particle we can have any radioactive element here, and these Ds are actually connected with a high frequency oscillator which is known as HF oscillator, which you will study in your higher classes in BSc or engineering. So this is HF oscillator, high frequency oscillator, and the function of this high frequency oscillator is to produce an alternating electric field. So far we have studied about constant electric field, generated or produced by the battery, but if you use AC source, then the electric field will be alternating electric field, oscillating electric field. So you will study the oscillator in your higher classes. For the time being, you must remember that the high frequency oscillator, or the function of high frequency oscillator, is to generate such type of oscillating electric field whose direction is keep on changing after every half cycle of this wave. We will also consider it or study not oscillator, but we will yes, definitely we are also going to study the oscillator in chapter AC, that is chapter 7. So for the time being, you must remember that high frequency oscillator is the device which produces electric field or oscillating electric field whose direction is keep on changing after every half time interval. This is the complete time interval, and after half time interval, the direction of or the polarity of electric field is being changed with the help of high frequency oscillator. Okay, next, this whole arrangement actually is kept in a perpendicular magnetic field. So suppose this is the representation of perpendicular magnetic field, which is perpendicular to the plane of this board. So this is the magnetic field, perpendicular magnetic field. Why we are taking it as perpendicular, we will discuss it. Perpendicular magnetic field and uniform magnetic field, in fact the intensity is same throughout the space. And this here we are having a deflecting plate. This is the deflecting plate which we will use to deflect the charged particle once it reaches its maximum velocity or maximum kinetic energy. So these are deflecting plates. Okay, so now what is the function of magnetic field? What is the function of this electric field which is being supplied by the high frequency oscillator? And why the shape of these is basically taken as circular? These all questions definitely will be coming in your mind. So we are going to answer one by one all of these your doubts. So this is the construction of cyclotron. Now we are going to have its working, or to understand its working. So how the accelerating charge particles can be obtained with the help of cyclotron. So as we switch on the high frequency oscillator and put this arrangement into magnetic field, perpendicular magnetic field, and this source of charge particle is emitting the charge particles like alpha particles, suppose for example, then these alpha particles will be, suppose for a time this plate is this D is positive and this D is negative, and we are considering first half cycle of the electric field generated or produced by high frequency oscillator. So suppose for the positive half cycle of the electric field generated by this high frequency oscillator, the D1 is positively charged or positive terminal, and this is suppose negative terminal. Okay, so this alpha particle, since it is having positive charge, it will accelerated through this D2 or towards the negative terminal of electric field. But will it go straight line or it will be in circular motion? So you will say it will be in circular motion. Why? Because it is moving in the perpendicular magnetic field, and whenever a charged particle moves in perpendicular magnetic field, the path of the particle is circular. This we have studied in the last topic, which was the motion of charged particles in uniform magnetic field. So the path of the charged particle will be circular and will be looking like this. Okay, so the frequency of this high frequency oscillator is so selected that as soon as this alpha particle reaches, or positive particle reaches at this edge of this D, then the polarity gets reversed. So now this D1 becomes negative and this D2 D will become positive. Now this alpha particle will be accelerated towards D1, and since it is accelerating, the velocity is being increasing, therefore thereby the radius will also increase. Why the radius will increase, we will discuss it while we are deriving the derivation. So it will, the radius of this path will increase as it, approaches or enters into the second, or D1. Okay, so this is the path of that particle, and after completion of every circular path, this charge particle is getting more and more velocities, and once it reaches at the circumference of this cyclotron, the velocity is maximum, and once the velocity becomes maximum, it is deflected by these deflecting plates and exit from the cyclotron. Now this charge particle, or the beam of charge particle, is having high kinetic energy, high kinetic energy, beam of charge particle, beam of charge particles. Okay, now there are two questions which must be in your mind, that what is the need of applying magnetic field, or in fact perpendicular magnetic field. And the second question, which I think you must have got the answer, that what is the function of this high frequency oscillator. The function of high frequency oscillator is to provide electric field or oscillating electric field, because if we are not having the oscillating electric field whose direction is keep on changing, then the polarity of these D's will never be changed, and if the polarity will not be changed, then the charge particle will not go from one D to the other D. So that is the purpose of high frequency oscillator, and in fact the accelerating part of the charge particle, or the acceleration of the charge particle, is basically being provided solely by the electric field. There is no role of magnetic field in accelerating the charge particle, because we have already discussed that the magnetic field cannot, or magnetic force cannot produce any work, or cannot increase the speed of the charge particle. So it can only change the direction of the charge particle. So the direction of this charge particle is being changed by the magnetic field, which is circular. And we have studied that whenever is perpendicularly magnetic field is applied, then the path of that particle becomes circular. Now question comes in our mind, that what is the need of this path to be circular. If the role of high frequency oscillator, or if we can easily accelerate the charge particle using only electric field, then what is the need of applying magnetic field? So the answer is, because if you don't use the magnetic field, then suppose one plate is here, second plate is here, this is positively charged, this is negatively charged, and suppose this is the slit. So if the electric field, or if the positive charge particle enter from this slit, then it will be definitely accelerated. But how much distance we can kept here? If we want to have more and more velocity, then the separation between these two plates must be more and more, and this will be occupying large space, large area. So here what we are actually doing, that the high frequency oscillator is accelerating the charge particle, and since it is moving in circular path, so the space occupied by this such type of device is not so enormous. So that is the only purpose of applying perpendicular magnetic field, so that the path of the charged particle becomes circular, and we can easily find out or easily get the high kinetic energy beam of the desired charged particles. So this is a cross field device in which magnetic field and electric field is simultaneously being applied, and both are perpendicular to each other, electric field as well as magnetic field, as you can see from the diagram. So this is the working and construction of this cyclotron. Now we are coming on to the derivative part of this topic. So the first derivation which we are going to derive in cyclotron is the time period of cyclotron. So time period of cyclotron can be easily derived with the help of the concept that we have already discussed, that why this charged particle is having the circular motion. So your answer will be due to magnetic force. So from where this a charged particle is getting the centripetal force, so you will say from the magnetic force. So I can easily put the centripetal force, the magnitude of centripetal force must be equal to the magnetic force, magnitude of magnetic force, because the centripetal force required for circular motion of the charged particle is being provided by the magnetic force due to magnetic field. Okay, so magnitude of centripetal force is suppose mv square upon r, where v is the velocity at any time of this charged particle and r is the radius of that charged particle and m is the mass. And magnetic force qvb sine theta, although this theta will be 90 degree because the angle theta is between velocity vector and b vector, and we have applied perpendicular magnetic field, therefore the angle will be 90 degree. So I can put here mv square upon r is equals to qvb sine 90, which becomes 1. Now this v will cancel out by this v square, so we have to derive the formula of radius, and thereafter we will use it in finding out the time period. So r can be written as mv upon q. This is also very important formula of cyclotron. With the help of that we can find out the radius of the circular path of this charged particle. So you must remember this formula also, and this is suppose equation first. Now the time period can be written as Tc is equals to 2 pi r, because the circumference of any of the or total length of any circular path of radius r can be written as 2 pi r, and the distance if divided by velocity at any time, then we can find out the time period. This is the total distance, this is the speed with which this path is covered by the charged particle. So this is equation second. Now we will put the radius, value of radius r from equation first to into equation second. So we can have 2 pi r, r is mv upon qb divided by v. We can cancel this v by v, so it is 2 pi m upon qb. So this is the formula of time period of cyclotron, which is 2 pi m upon qb. And here you can easily say that this time period is independent of the radius. This is independent of the radius of the charged particle and this velocity or speed of the charged particle. Here there is no r and there is no v, so this time period of cyclotron only depends upon the charge by mass ratio of the charged particle, and once we have fixed the charged particle, then this ratio will also be fixed. So we can say for a constant magnetic field, this time period of cyclotron will also be constant. So this is the working principle of this cyclotron, because if the time period of cyclotron, which is actually the time period of this high frequency oscillator, if this is not constant, then there will be no synchronization, that whenever the charge particle reaches at the edge of this d, its polarity should be changed, or the frequency of the cyclotron oscillator is such decided that whenever the charge particle completes this semicircular path within any of the d, the polarity just reverses, or we can say just change. So if it depends, the time period if depends on the radius or the velocity, then since the radius and velocity is keep on increasing within this d, then we have to put, or we have to keep this frequency of oscillator or time period of this oscillator keep on changing, which is not possible. So that is the working principle or main concept behind working of this cyclotron. So once again I am repeating that what is the working principle of cyclotron. The cyclotron works on that principle that once the charge particle is fixed, then the frequency of that charge particle or high frequency oscillator can be accordingly kept fixed, because it is independent of the radius and velocity of the charge particle or the circular path. So this is the formula of time period of cyclotron. Now we are coming on to the second part of the derivation, which is frequency of the cyclotron. Frequency of the cyclotron, or basically these frequencies and time period are also the time period and frequency of these oscillator also, because if you are saying that the frequency of cyclotron, so in indirect way we can say we are talking about the frequency and time period of this high frequency oscillator. So you need not to be confused that what is the frequency, what is the time period of cyclotron. There is no need to say the frequency or time period of cyclotron. It is indirectly the time period and frequency of the high frequency oscillator with which this cyclotron is being connected. So frequency of cyclotron or high frequency oscillator, Fc, if I represent it, so Fc is reciprocal of time period Tc, and Tc is 2 pi m upon qb, so it will become qb upon 2 pi m. So this is the formula of frequency of cyclotron, which is also independent of the radius and velocity. So this is suppose equation 3rd, and this is equation 4th. Now we are going to derive next important formula, which is the maximum kinetic energy of the charged particle. So definitely we can have a question in our mind that how much maximum velocity or speed can be attained by a charged particle which is accelerated with the help of cyclotron. So next derivation is maximum kinetic energy of the charged particle. So it can be written as K max is equals to half m v max square, because mass of the charged particle is constant, and whenever the charged particle attained maximum velocity, the kinetic energy will be maximum, corresponding that maximum speed. Now we are having the formula of radius with us, and the formula of radius was r is equals to mv upon qv. So as the radius increases, velocity also increases, because all other parameters are constant. So if the radius of these circular path is being increasing, definitely the velocity of the charged particle is also being increasing accordingly. So for maximum velocity, what should be the value of this radius? You will say the maximum radius, and the maximum radius can be the radius of these d's. So suppose I denote the radius of this d as r max. So I can say r max is equals to mv max upon QB, and if I put the value of Vmax, here is QBR max divided by M, and suppose this is equation 6. Now putting the value of Vmax from equation 6 into equation 5, we can have the maximum value of kinetic energy, which is equals to half M Q square B square R max square divided by M square. This M will be cancelled out by this, so it is coming out to be Q square B square R max square divided by twice of M. This is the formula of maximum kinetic energy attained by the charged particle in cyclotron. So this is the working and derivative part of the cyclotron. Now one more topic is there, which is the limitations of cyclotron. So you can note it down. So now we are coming on to the limitations of cyclotron. So as we have already discussed that with the help of cyclotron, the neutral particles cannot be accelerated. So the first limitation is we cannot accelerate the neutral charge particles, neutral charge or neutral particles, in fact, neutral particles with the help of cyclotron. Neutral particles can't be accelerated using cyclotron. So this is the first limitation. Second limitation we can write down is electron cannot be accelerated. Electron can't be accelerated using